Hey, this is Joel Cameron. Thanks for checking out this video. On this video, I'm going to show some basic bass drum tuning. Basically, if you're going to show up at a gig or a recording session and there's a drum kit provided, or if you're the engineer and someone brings in a drum and it sounds terrible, it's useful just to know how to get a good basic sound that'll get you probably through 70–80% of most situations with some basic muffling and mic placement and whatnot. This is a 24-inch Ludwig bass drum, 14 by 24. The size is not particularly important. The approach is going to be the same with any bass drum you use. Ideally, make sure you have good heads. This head is used, but it's not abused. It's a Remo Power Stroke. I like Power Strokes. Evans, Remo, Aquarian. There are lots of good drum head options out there. Just make sure it's a good, fairly fresh head. Bass drum heads are sort of like bass strings. You don't replace them that often. The drum is completely loose, and I'm going to start with the back. So face down, I'm just going to start finger tightening like I normally do, and get them basically snug so they're not going to rattle around. And I work opposite sides at the same time so that theoretically the head's being tensioned evenly on its way down. Okay, so that's pretty much finger tight. These two are at the bottom where the bass drum pedal attaches. I don't have T-rods on that, so those I need a drum key. But basically, I'm just gonna tune these about half a turn each. And you'll notice I'm not going the back and forth like skipping like I normally do because I'm doing these across at the same time. And you can already see it's a lot more tension, and it already has some tone to it. Bass drums are really easy to tune. If you have a decent drum with a good edge and a decent head, it should take you 5 minutes to get a good bass drum sound, honestly. I don't generally go too much higher than that. Some people do. We can go a little bit higher. One thing I do want to do is I want to just kind of check and see more or less by tapping and listening and feeling that the head is more or less evenly tensioned. It's not critical with the bass drum like it is for toms and snare by the same degree at all that the head is completely even. Particularly on the front head, because most oftentimes for recording situations and sound reinforcement situations, you've got a hole in the head anyway to stick a microphone inside the drum. So same approach here. Finger tighten these. So we have a fairly even starting point. Oh, that one had a little bit more play in it. Okay, and then same deal. And this one, I'm doing some of these more than others because it's easier to turn. You can tell it's got more room to go. Okay, so same deal. There's not much to it. Like I say, if it's a decent drum and a decent head, then we're already there. And just to give you an idea, even though I don't have a proper mic on it, I can hit it. And you have a nice attack, plenty of attack, you've got plenty of sustain. We'll mute that a little bit, but that is a good starting point. So without doing anything else to the drum, I'm gonna mic it up and just let you listen to what an unmuffled drum tuned with just about a half to a full turn on each lug, what that does to a 24-inch kick drum. Okay, so here's the drum the way that I had it tuned just a second ago. And I've taken a Beta 52, a Shure Beta 52, stuck it inside the hole, and it's relatively centered in the drum, just inside the front head, pointing at the batter head. So it sounds with no muffling, just the way I tuned it, like this. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice about that, it's a 24-inch drum, so it's not a small drum, and yet, in spite of the fact that there's no actual muffling on it, it's not out of control. You can use that sound. You can gate it and contain it if you want, or you can compress it and expand it. You can do all sorts of interesting things with that sound. Most of the time, in most pop situations, you're going to want some muffling though. So what I'm going to do is grab this bit of muffling, and this is just like 1-inch foam, sort of like what you'd see on the inside of a studio or something. I'm not sure where I got this piece, but I've had it for a decade, and I use it for muffling bass drums because I don't like necessarily stuffing bass drums with pillows and getting it really dead sounding, but this is about the right size that it touches the front and back head, and I just kind of rest it, and I'll get a shot for you so you can see how it's resting in there. I just rest it against the back head, and it's then just kind of barely touching the front head, so it contains really well. And I put the mic back in the same place, and just that little bit of muffling, which is really lightweight as a matter of fact too, makes the drum sound like this. Okay, and one thing I just want you to notice about it is without the muffling, go back and listen to it, without the muffling, there's a stronger attack. And why that is because the inside of the drum is actually lacquered. It's got a sealant that seals the wood and protects it from moisture. It also makes the interior very hard. And so you have all the snap, the high mid frequencies of the attack of the drum bouncing around inside, and there's really no place for that to go because the surfaces are hard. So it hangs around a little longer and therefore is a bigger part of the overall sound. So you get more attack. Now go back and listen to the section that I just played with the muffling. And just by, even though there's not a lot of mass in there, because there's a soft texture in there, it really quickly absorbs those frequencies. So not only is it containing the resonance of the heads a little bit, it's also giving the high frequency a place to go, and you wind up with a darker sound that's got more contained attack, even though the mic is in the same place as it was before. So that's just a kind of a primer for basic pop tuning of bass drums. If you have questions or suggestions or a sound that you dig and you want to see how they make that sound or whatever, please leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to explore that for you. And in the meantime, enjoy, and I appreciate you watching this. I hope it's helpful. Thanks.